I first started eating one meal a day with a challenge to do it for 30 days straight. But then I loved it so much, I ended up doing it for a full year. And now I can't go back. There's a difference between being awake and being sharp. And fasting gave me that sharpness, that edge. There's real neuroscience behind this. There's a process called autophagy that kicks in during extended fasting, where your body starts cleaning up damaged cells and regenerating itself. No matter how clean I ate before, I would still deal with that weird post-meal fatigue or heaviness. The truth is, we've all been sold a lie. The food industry wants you snacking, grazing, and dependent, because that's how they win. That's how they keep you buying. Let me give you some context. I had spent years deep in the trenches of the fitness industry. I was immersed in books, studies, forums, coaches, and podcasts. And honestly, I reached a point of paralysis by analysis. Everyone had a different opinion about what you should do. Some said eat 5 meals a day to keep your metabolism firing. Others said fast for longevity, eat carbs before training, don't eat carbs ever. Go paleo, go carnivore, go keto. It was madness. And I was the kind of person who didn't just read it and move on. I would hear something new and immediately think to myself, okay, how does this fit into my body? I would test it, I would live it, I would adjust it. That's how I've always learned, through experience. I wanted to feel the truth of these ideas in my own physiology, not just hear them echoed in studies or social media chambers. So I tried every diet under the sun: paleo, keto, carnivore, low carb, no carb, carb backloading, high fat, if it fits your macros, 5 meals a day. Not out of desperation, but out of this deep curiosity to understand my own biology. And eventually that curiosity led me to one of the simplest, most radical shifts of all: OMAD. I didn't choose OMAD because it was trending. I chose it because I was done. Done being ruled by food, done revolving my day around meals, done with the constant Tupperware life, hitting my meals in the back of the gym, planning my calendar around meal timing, obsessing over protein intake and carb sources, and eating windows. I was in great shape physically, but mentally, I was fatigued. Food took up too much space in my life. And the thing was, I wasn't overeating, I wasn't binging, I was following every right protocol. High protein breakfast, pre-workout carbs, post-workout shakes, clean eating, macro targets, micros tracked, and still I felt bloated more often than not, always a little foggy, constantly thinking about my next meal, unsatisfied even when I was full, weirdly anxious if I missed a meal window. I clearly remember scarfing down oats and protein powder in my car between clients. I remember feeling guilty for eating too early or too late. I remember Googling things like, can you gain fat if you eat carbs after 9 p.m? I remember trying to hit 150 grams of protein like my life depended on it, and still feeling like I was falling behind. And that's when I realized this isn't working. And more than that, this isn't freedom. I didn't want to feel chained to food. I wanted to feel in control of my own biology. So I said, screw it. I'm going to eat once a day for 30 days. One solid, complete meal. No snacks, no hacks, no half efforts. And let's see what happens. The first 30 days. Now, week 1 was a slap in the face. You don't realize how conditioned you are until you try to break the pattern. I'd be fine, focused, training, and then out of nowhere, my stomach would growl and my brain would just freak out. It was like, feed me now. It wasn't even real hunger, it was habitual panic. Because here's the science. Your hunger hormone ghrelin spikes when it expects food. And that's because you trained it like this. You told it, I eat at 9 a.m, at 1 p.m, and again at 6 p.m. So it learns, and now it throws tantrums when you break that pattern. But the beauty is, it adapts just as fast. By day 5 or 6, those hunger pangs weren't hitting as hard. And by day 10, I wasn't even thinking about food until mid-afternoon. I was still training hard, still working full days, and I had mental clarity I hadn't felt in years. No crash, no midday slump, just long, clean focus, deep energy, like I had unlocked a second gear. And my digestion, best it's ever been. No bloating, no food hangovers, just smooth, efficient function. By the time I hit day 30, I realized I had unintentionally solved about 4 different problems that I had accepted as just part of being attentive to nutrition. The micromanaging, the cravings, the hunger spikes, the constant food tracking. Gone. And that's when I decided this wasn't just a challenge. This was a new operating system. Now, some people will hear this and say, well, why didn't you just eat like a normal human being? 3 balanced meals a day. And I get that. That's what we've been told is healthy, responsible adult behavior. But here's the thing. Nothing I've ever done has been normal. I don't follow normal because I don't want a normal life. Most of what society considers normal, I don't value it. I don't aspire to it. Normal to me is average. Normal is Homer Simpson. I want to feel extraordinary, physically, mentally, spiritually. And sometimes that means going left when the whole world goes right. OMAD might not be the normal, but neither am I, and that's exactly why it worked for me. So why did I keep going? Let me be clear. OMAD wasn't a gimmick for me. It wasn't a fat loss hack or a phase. It became a way of life because it solved problems I didn't know had solutions. Here's what made me stick with it long past the 30 days. OMAD gave me mornings without brain fog, a gut that finally felt quiet, freedom from food panic, stronger workouts, simpler days, and a body that I trusted again. First of all, mental clarity. There's a difference between being awake and being sharp, and fasting gave me that sharpness, that edge. There's real neuroscience behind this. Fasting elevates norepinephrine, which improves alertness. It also increases BDNF, which is a brain-derived nootropic factor. This boosts memory and focus. But all science aside, I felt it. I could work for 4 to 6 hours straight, deep in creative or strategic flow without reaching for snacks, meals, or distractions. That was new for me, and I didn't want to give it up. The second thing is digestive peace. My gut thanked me. No matter how clean I ate before, I would still deal with that weird post-meal fatigue or heaviness. But when you give your digestive system 20 plus hours off every day, it recalibrates. There's a process called autophagy that kicks in during extended fasting, where your body starts cleaning up damaged cells and regenerating itself. I wasn't just digesting better, I was repairing better. And for someone who trains hard and demands a lot from their body, that repair was everything. And the third is simplicity. This might be the most underrated benefit. There was no more meal planning, meal prepping, macro counting, snack packing, constant interruptions. One meal, I ate it, I enjoyed it, I moved on. The mental real estate that opened up from that was incredible for me. I didn't just have more energy, I had more life in my day. And here are 5 shocking things that happened over the course of a year. Now, here's what actually surprised me over the course of a full year on OMAD. Number 1, I stopped craving sugar, like actually stopped. Before OMAD, I always wanted a sweet thing after dinner, even if I was full. It was like my brain was still waiting for dopamine. After a few weeks of OMAD, that pull just dissolved. And it wasn't willpower, it was chemistry. Fasting resets your dopamine and insulin sensitivity, which means that your body doesn't need sugar to feel good anymore. Cravings don't mean that you're weak, they mean that your reward system has been hijacked by hyperpalatable food, by dopamine loops, by constant stimulation. When you fast, you interrupt that loop. You remove the noise, you give your brain a chance to reset. You're not broken, you're just overstimulated. And OMAD gives you the silence that you forgot you needed. That's how it feels for me. Number 2, I had more energy, not less. I thought I would feel drained, but when you stop constantly digesting, your body reallocates that energy. Instead of wasting ATP on constant food processing, you use it for movement, cognition, recovery. Fasting increases mitochondrial biogenesis. More mitochondria equals more power output. And I felt it. I could train fasted and still push to near max. I recovered just as well, if not better. Number 3, I felt free from food anxiety. No more, what if I didn't pack enough? Is this meal going to ruin my macros? Do I have time to eat before training? That mental load just disappeared. I had more presence, more calm. And when I did eat, it was joyful, not stressful. Most people don't even realize how much food controls them until they try not eating. That's when the panic sets in. That's when you realize that food isn't just fuel, it's comfort, distraction, it's almost an identity. OMAD stripped all of that away. It exposed the noise, and in that silence, I got to see who's actually in charge here, me or the food. And when I took back the wheel, it changed everything. Number 4, my workouts didn't suffer. Fasted training was one of my biggest hesitations, but it ended up being a highlight. Strength stayed solid, endurance went up, joint inflammation went down, my body learned to tap into fat for fuel, a concept called metabolic flexibility. And because I wasn't constantly eating, my body got better at adapting to real demand. I wasn't overfeeding, oversupplementing, or overreacting. Number 5, I realized I wasn't missing out on social events used to revolve around food. Now I realize they're really about connection and the beauty of OMAD. You can adapt when needed.